Hi everyone, and welcome to Digital Transformation for SMB. I'm pausing here for a moment for you to review Jamf's forward-looking statement. It will be available under Resources for a detailed review. My name is Karen Goss, and I am a Product Marketing Manager here at Jamf. Let's review our presentation agenda for today. We're going to discuss an SMB overview, SMB industries, what is digital transformation, a Jamf Now overview, and then get into digital transformation done right, some customer examples of how they've accomplished this task. In 2016, there were 30.7 million small businesses making up 99.9% of US businesses. And they employed about 60 million people. That's over 47% of total US employment in the private sector. Small and medium-sized businesses make up a variety of industries. This chart outlines the number of SMBs per industry. Keep in mind, of course, that 2020 will probably impact these counts and numbers, but this data is just to illustrate that there is a wide variety of industries that small businesses are in. Let's talk about digital transformation. The process of using digital technologies to create new or modify existing business processes, culture, and customer experiences. With many organizations revamping technical infrastructures and undergoing major changes to keep up with an ever-changing digital landscape, many are wondering how this impacts internal teams. Key drivers for these types of projects are customer satisfaction, increased speed to market, and increased profits. But what can be forgotten is the impact that this has on the employee experience. After all, a digital transformation is a business transformation, and that means the workforce is integral to its success. When businesses change their digital infrastructure and incorporate more technological innovations, they need to focus on how they will be adopted and used. Will it bring value to the organization? Will this be an easy integration, and can employees adapt well? Although digital transformation may result in meeting customer demands, we must first look at the internal influence. It is important that a transformation not result in lost time, frustrated employees and customers, and potential security risks and costly technology investments that are never used. Business processes, employee experiences, and company culture are all being shaped by the digital technologies we use. But simply leveraging any technology does not automatically provide benefits. In fact, the wrong technology could have an unintended consequence. Regarding some challenges around digital transformation, challenges can arise when employees and IT are not in the same location. Employees have a variety of needs and digital experience, and employees are leveraging different hardware and software. Not every employee needs the same apps or software. All of these challenges are common. Remote workers are the norm, especially right now. There are 5 generations currently in the workplace, and the days of all employees using the same devices and the same applications are over. Employees need customized solutions and tools. However, a successful digital transformation plan can overcome these obstacles. And they can be achieved when the right tools are in place. Apple's ease of use and growing demand from employees pair with Jamf and have a proven history of empowering employees to be productive on day one, keeping employees happy throughout their employment, and cultivating a cohesive culture for all employees. If your organization is looking to hire and retain top talent, and do so in the most cost-effective way possible. It's time to take your technology seriously and transform responsibly. Jamf Now can help you with your digital transformation. Jamf Now is the easiest way to perform small and medium business mobile device management tasks on Apple devices within your organization. Set up, manage, and secure devices in minutes, all from one place. The value of Jamf Now falls into these three buckets: set up, manage, and secure. From a setup perspective, with Jamf Now, we took the challenges of device management and simplified them, creating an intuitive environment for users. From enrollment to distribution, eliminate the tedious steps to create a streamlined process for users. By using this intuitive yet powerful interface, you can remotely configure settings on all of your iPad, iPhone, and Mac devices quickly and consistently with functionality such as inventory management, app distribution, and OS updates. To help manage your devices with Jamf Now, blueprints are at the core of the software. With blueprints, you can easily customize and deploy apps and settings for groups of devices, all from one place. From apps to security, email, Wi-Fi, restrictions, single app mode, web clips, and wallpaper settings, Blueprints provides you with a quick and easy way to get your employees what they need to be productive. And finally, secure. Your organization can take advantage of the native Apple security frameworks without compromising on the user experience. Jamf Now's mobile device management security features are built for the Apple platform and integrate with the native Apple security controls. It features a suite of encryption tools, restrictions, and remote management capabilities. Help protect your devices with restrictions, remote lock or wipe, passcode requirements, and loss mode. Now let's take a look at some examples of customers who have gone through these types of transformations and learn more about their experiences. Ergodyne is our first example. When it comes to tough jobs, Ergodyne knows you need tough gear to get the job done. From work gear like gloves, knee pads, and head and eye protection, the job site safety equipment and personal protective gear Ergodyne creates is essential. Ergodyne is dedicated to helping companies make the workplace a better place. Having a core belief in the ability to make the workplace a better place means that Ergodyne must walk the walk and talk the talk by ensuring their own workplace is great for employees. After all, much of the purpose of their safety work gear they design, manufacture, and sell, they know the importance of providing the right gear for the job. Inside their office, the right gear consists of keeping up to date with technology and software to help streamline their day-to-day work. That's why when it was time to select which devices Ergodyne wanted to give their team, Apple's iPad and MacBook were the obvious choice. Using Apple allowed Ergodyne the ability to offer a tool that their sales teams, regional sales managers, and marketing teams wanted. After an initial rollout of devices to a subset of the team, they could quickly see the benefits, including streamlined workflows, enhanced efficiency, increased sales, and no problem crushing their deadlines. The ability to customize devices within apps and software to fit each specific employee and manager's needs was made possible through the App Store and library of B2B apps. But it was difficult to get their devices into the team's hands. Ergodyne found that their method of manually setting up and touching each device didn't match with their size and rollout timeline, and it wasn't scalable to their growth plans. Their initial plan was to have the marketing team set up each device individually. This setup would include Apple ID, making sure that the device had the apps and software needed for specific roles and responsibilities, email and Wi-Fi, and was up to date. The problem was that every time an app needed to be added, an operating system needed to be updated, or any device needed troubleshooting. It had to be done one at a time. As time went on, they were finding themselves with a stack of new iPad devices needing to be set up and a 2-week to 3-week turnaround time to get through every task manually. On top of managing devices around the office, the marketing team had the responsibility of managing and setting up iPads that are used at trade show events and setting up devices dedicated to remote employees. Both of these use cases require a very different setup and needed a very different amount of management for the marketing team to keep track of. If any devices from a remote location needed troubleshooting, they had to help guide their coworker through the process to do it themselves, as marketing was unable to physically touch the device. All of it left them feeling like there had to be an easier and better way. IT functions were part of the marketing role, but it was becoming too time-consuming to stay on top of the device management needs and their actual roles as marketers. Mike Babcock, Ergodyne's only IT professional, could see the problems that were forming and the inefficiency in their process. It was becoming too much to manually manage the devices out in the field, remotely, and at events. Mike had heard of Jamf when he initially looked at bringing Apple devices to Ergodyne, but he didn't have a firm grasp of what MDM was or the extent of its value. It was clear that Ergodyne was suffering from not having an MDM attached to their devices. Mike said, "We needed something that was very simple and easy to use, so we could set it up and go. Other MDMs were too complicated, but Jamf Now gave us what we needed, and you can't beat the price." Another customer example of this transition is Abbeydale Building Environment Consultants, or Abbeydale BEC for short. It was formed in 1993 and has grown to become a small team of geotechnical and environmental consultants, offering desk studies, site investigation, gas monitoring, slope stability, flood risk assessments, and more. They carved out a niche with small and medium-sized business developers, architects, and structural engineers looking to build primarily housing and industrial premises. Being part of the construction, engineering, and field services industry, they know the emphasis within these areas and industries of having partners that are efficient, effective, and capable of handling the day-to-day control of their role on projects. It is because of these traits that Abbeydale BEC has become a trusted partner for many people, including a number of local authorities within the field of highway design and associated development issues. As with any project, keeping progress on pace is a necessity. It can be the difference between making profits or breaking even, and for Abbeydale, it could mean getting hired again in the future or not. Each project is an opportunity to put their best foot forward and showcase the quality of work that their team is capable of doing. As a small business themselves, Abbeydale BEC knows the life of covering as much ground as possible every day on projects. In order to do this, they know each employee has to feel empowered and capable of being in control of every aspect of their day-to-day work, including the tools that they use. As many companies do, Abbeydale BEC gave each of their employees a non-Apple computer during their onboarding so that each member of the team had access to the same hardware, software, and programs, but over time, challenges began to rise. Abbeydale noticed that slowly but surely, every device became outdated, which meant that they were opening themselves up to security threats. Without a dedicated IT department to assist in this, the responsibility would have fallen to the individual user to update their computer, but employees were feeling a lot of pressure that they may cause problems or harm to their devices if they made updates. No one had professional IT experience, which meant none of them felt comfortable and in control of their own devices. As GDPR regulations took effect and expectations around security were increased, Abbeydale BEC knew they had a responsibility to keep their company and their clients' information secure. Having sensitive client information, job site information, and planning and purchasing data on devices that weren't up to date wasn't going to suffice. Abbeydale BEC knew something had to change. they were due for a refresh on their technology and needed to enable their team to feel comfortable with their devices, relieving the pressure they were feeling of day-to-day device management. Rick Seville, a director at Abbeydale BEC, recognized the needs of the team and with no professional IT experience, took it upon himself to investigate how to make the most of their next investment into technology. He needed to make sure they could offer employees the best hardware and software available and a suite of tools that would allow each team member to produce their best work, all while giving Abbeydale BEC an easy way to keep each of their devices up to date and secure. As he began his research, it became clear to him that a system based around Apple's Mac offered him the ability to easily keep devices updated through free OS updates, leverage Apple's native security for GDPR compliance, give the team access to the entire App Store full of tools and apps, and was a very familiar setup to Rick as he was already using this in his personal life. He just needed to find out how to accomplish all of his other goals and learn the best practices for rolling them out and managing them day to day within a commercial setting. Rick began his plans for Abbeydale BEC's new Mac-based tech plan and was introduced to mobile device management and Jamf Now. He learned through MDM he would be able to do a lot of things he was looking to do from a central location, all without manually intervening or relying on his team to perform these tasks. After many months using Mac with MDM, Rick can comfortably say he is sold on the ease and power of Jamf Now. Even with only a few devices, Rick quickly saw the value of managing them through Jamf Now instead of manually. Rick said, "Jamf Now has given me a lot of confidence that we have the necessary management and security in place for our devices. It also gives the users a lot of confidence when they are using their devices." That management, security, and confidence is exactly what Rick set out to provide for Abbeydale BEC. Since creating their MDM foundation and enrolling their new Mac devices in Jamf Now, Rick is able to make sure each iMac and MacBook is set up to date and secure, taking a lot of pressure off the employees to make sure they aren't doing anything wrong on their devices unknowingly. With access to the App Store, Abbeydale BEC can offer their team a wide range of apps and tools to work with. And because devices are enrolled in Jamf Now, Rick can make sure the apps are uniform across devices. By doing this, he can ensure each app is properly vetted to meet GDPR compliance and security requirements. Nowadays at Abbeydale, each device remains up to date with the latest operating system using Jamf Now's ability to remotely upgrade devices. And each computer has a specific blueprint set up on it to ensure each employee is enabled with the right software without having them worry about searching and downloading apps on their own. Rick continues to manage Jamf Now and has gladly championed that role to help his team find success. Because of Apple and Jamf Now, every need they were looking for with their tech refresh plan had been met, and he's creating a foundation for scaling with their growth. Rick also mentioned it's a massive time savings. I can do everything I need to do quickly and from anywhere. It's truly been a set it and forget it. An additional example is a law firm in the Minneapolis and Hudson, Wisconsin area called Lern. And the way they see it, success is not a matter of luck. They know business is about getting results, and for their 80 years, this philosophy has guided them on their path to achieving a list of accolades, including being one of the best law firms in America in appellate and professional liability by U.S. News and World Report, and having 5 attorneys listed in the best lawyers in America. Benjamin Damaris is the sole IT professional in charge of both branches of Lern and believes deeply in the role that technology and Apple devices play in their success. However, with 42 company-provided and bring-your-own iOS devices spread out across 2 locations, and a team that is constantly out in the field, keeping devices and client information secure and giving attorneys access to the tools and information they need, all while staying flexible and responsive to potential problems, can be a huge challenge for IT departments, much less one person. The solution. Businesses may always be about results, but it's not always clear how to achieve them. When it came to securing Apple devices with Jamf Now, the results spoke for themselves. Looking to quickly set up devices for new employees, require passcodes, locate, lock, and wipe devices with sensitive information if lost, and give attorneys access to their client information from anywhere, Benjamin found a perfect solution in Jamf Now. Jamf has met our needs fully and completely, said Benjamin. Insurance companies have criteria that we must meet to retain counsel, and being able to not only house sensitive information, but also locate, access, and wipe any devices if the situation arises is critical. Jamf Now was made to help people in these exact scenarios look like heroes. With an easy, crisp, clean layout, it allows users to quickly learn and take advantage of powerful mobile device management capabilities without taking hours out of their day. One person is able to get an entire department's worth of work done and avoid issues. These customers were facing some of the digital transformation challenges that we discussed, and Jamf Now has helped them to overcome them. You can try Jamf Now for yourself or recommend it to a colleague. Visit www.jamfnow.com and manage 3 devices for free. Thank you for listening today. Please make sure to give us feedback by completing the survey using the widget below. Thank you.